everybody, and welcome back to Second Level Sports. We've got a little mini game today. Not all the boys are here, but it's going to be me and Asher. We've seen a couple different news clips here recently that the NFL is actually going to let some of its players play flag football for the 2028 Olympics. So we figure we need to make our ultimate teams. So I'm going to give you a quick breakdown of how just flag football rosters are supposed to look, because for the Olympics, they actually have 5-on-5. There are 12 players per roster. There's 5 offensive players and 5 defensive players, but for consistency's sake, we're going to say 5 offensive players, 5 defensive players, and 2 utility guys you're going to use anywhere. So we can pick from just about any NFL team.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. So I suppose I will let you go first. Who is your first pick for the 2028 flag football team, and why?
We're going to get the most important position off the board here, and that's quarterback. And I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson, because this game is built for a player of his play style. He can move, he can run, he can throw any throw on the field. I think Lamar is the perfect kind of flag football quarterback. Like how are teams around the world going to stop that?
Yeah, I can buy that 100%. That I think, if anybody was going to pick a quarterback to play flag football, it should be Lamar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to be cheesy. I know. I'm also going to admit Lamar was a solid first pick. That was going to be my first pick. But I'm going to go cheap and easy and go Patrick Mahomes.
That's a good pick. I mean, he's the best player at the position overall. And he can throw anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know how big the field is. I think it's a 50-yard field.
Yeah, I think it's exactly cut in half.
Okay, so 50. I mean, he can throw from the back of one end zone to the other side of the field, no problem. He can put it anywhere. It's a good pick.
Yeah, absolutely. I was debating going back and forth, either him or Josh Allen, but
yeah.
Mahomes will be a little bit older by then, but I think even in 2028, people, even if they pick Lamar as their like starter, if you will, there's going to be people that are like, oh, why didn't Patrick make the team? Well, there you go. Patrick made my team. So how about that? All right. So let's see. For my next pick, I am going to go CB1, cornerback 1. I'm going to take him off the table real quick. Pat Surtain, welcome to the team. I'm going to take the best corner on the board while he's there. He'll be able to lock up the Swedish bankers and the French, all the people that are going to try and compete with these guys. I'm gonna set him up to just lock them down. No questions asked.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good pick. I mean, I don't know how anyone from like you mentioned it, anyone from any of those other countries is going to get open. Like, I want to see one of them try to beat Pat Surtain or any NFL corner in like a press coverage situation. So
not gonna happen.
It's a solid pick going defense. I'm going to stay on the offensive side of the ball. I think offense is very important, just because I don't see defense being played a lot in these games. Especially with the talent that the American team is going to have, it's going to turn into who can score the most the quickest, and I think that's what is going to be imperative. So I'm stuck between going with my tight end center position or going with a wide receiver. I'm going to go with wide receiver, and I'm going to go with Justin Jefferson.
I just
think his ability, I mean, if he's one-on-one covered by anybody, even an NFL corner, I'm taking Justin Jefferson in one-on-one coverage. Imagine him against some German farmer trying to guard him.
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
isn't going to be a competition, and I think Justin Jefferson catching balls from Lamar Jackson will look really good in the red, white, and blue.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too. Let's see. I think I am going to go receiver also, and I'm trying to pick between a few different people because I'm also trying to think longevity wise because this is going to be played in 2028. That's why I was a little hesitant.
3 years from now.
Yeah, that's why I was a little hesitant to immediately go in on Mahomes because he's going to be in his 30s by then. I think his talent's undeniable, but I'm gonna leave him alone where he's at. I think my number one receiver. Now let's see. I'm gonna break this down a little bit. Tyreek Hill would be fun if the team was for now. He's also going to be in his 30s at the time. A lot of these guys need to be decently sharp, like route runners, and be able to outmaneuver guys and flip their hips and move around and things like that, which that's going to be an interesting think piece, I'm sure, for lots of people that are going to try and build their flag football teams like we are. But you know what I'm going to do? I am going to go LSU receiver also, but I'm going to ensure that he is going to be under the age 30 limit. I'm going to throw a dart at the wall. Big surprise. Malik Neighbors is going to be one of my top receivers. Maybe not wide receiver one, but I'm going to need him on this team.
I really like the pick. I mean, Neighbors had a mind-blowing season with the Giants quarterback situation in his rookie year. To be able to do it, he was able to do with terrible, I'm going to just flat out say it, terrible quarterback play. Yeah. Just imagine what he can do when he gets a little more confidence in the league, a more competent quarterback situation. I think Neighbors is going to be up there in the conversation with the guys we've mentioned already, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson for top receiver in the league in a few years, and he's got the talent, so I love the pick.
Yeah. All right, so you've got double next. Who you taking?
So I think I want to go defense now, and I want to be ensured that when it comes down to it, I have good corner play, because who knows what kind of speed these other countries can put out on the outside. So I'm going to go with a very good cornerback, maybe one who doesn't get as much recognition as he deserves, but I'm going to go with Riq Woolen.
Okay, I
think the play style translates. Yeah,
many people would probably consider that a stretch, but I do see the appeal. He's a long guy. He's a big guy. He's going to be able to lock all these people down. He doesn't profile to me maybe as a man cover corner a ton. He often looks like a safety while he's out there playing, but that might be exactly what you need.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be these games are going to be very chaotic.
Yes,
there's not going to be a lot of coordination. There's not going to be a lot of setting up situations where it's like, okay, we're going to run a man up too deep.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We're not going to see that. That's not what's going to happen. And I think Woolen's just pure athletic ability and his ability to just make plays on seemingly impossible balls. I think it's going to translate well.
Yeah. All right.
So I get another pick here, and I'm going to stay on defense, and I'm going to stay defensive backfield, and I'm going to go with Antoine Winfield Jr.
That's a good pick.
Another guy who's got the vertical ability, who's got the smarts, knows the game. He's a great safety. I think Antoine Winfield Jr. going to be a great player for my team USA.
I can 100% buy that. Now, I've got a double, and I am going to do two things. I am going to get my tight end center out of the way, and I'm going to go for maybe a little bit of a utility player, but I'm going to be playing him at kind of a receiver scat back role. I'll go ahead and get my tight end and center out of the way. This one's pretty easy for me, even though he's going to be older. He feels like the ultimate pick for this. I feel like he'd love doing it. He'd love playing. I kind of need George Kittle. For this team. I don't know if I can explain it better than that, but I need George Kittle for Team USA flag football. Even if he fully retires from the NFL by then, he needs to be on this team. So I'm going to take him.
Yeah, George Kittle is about as American as an American football player can be. If there was an award for the most American player on your team, it would go to him.
100%. Yeah. So I'm going to go Kittle.
You get another pick here. Get another pick. What direction are you looking at here?
So I want to go for a bit of a receiver scat back role. If this was about 2 years ago, I would have picked somebody like a Deebo Samuel here. Somebody like that, where he runs most of his plays out of the backfield. He has lots of different things that he does, and he's still a number one receiver at the same time. What I'm going to do is take Bijan Robinson and have our flag football team use him like that. Does that make sense? Use him like Deebo Samuel did a couple of years ago, but take Bijan Robinson for one of my receiver spots.
I like the pick. I think it's a good pick. He's got a lot of ability to be that kind of guy who can catch the quick pass, put a foot in the ground, and make a good move. I think this is overall a solid pick for you, building a nice offense around Patrick Mahomes there.
Yeah, I'm trying my best. Now you've got the double. Who you got?
I have the double, and I think, it's tricky because there's a lot of different places I could go. I can go that tight end center role. I know I need to fill out. Could go for another kind of wide receiver, but I think I'm going to go in a similar direction you went with your last pick, and I'm going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay,
to play a similar role as kind of the get the ball just in his hands in whatever way you can and let him do what he's able to do with the ball in his hands. So I think Jahmyr Gibbs, very talented player, and I like him as one of my utility pieces.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That to me kind of, that would be kind of my 1A, 1B for that like exact type of player. 1A is Bijan or Gibbs, and 1B is the other one.
Yep. Very similar set of skills that can be used in this kind of flag football conversation.
100%.
So I get another pick here, and I think I want to go with another kind of utility player. Okay. I think it's important to have a lot of versatility because it's. I'm going to use the guy. He plays wide receiver, but I'm going to use him in a utility role just because of the speed. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with the fastest man in football, Xavier Worthy.
Okay.
Simply because he's young, that speed. Now, right now, there's an argument that it's Tyreek Hill who's the fastest or whoever it might be. But statistically, ran the fastest 40. He's young. I think Xavier Worthy, what he can do kind of in – honestly a similar role to what we've mentioned from Gibbs and Robinson, kind of as that scat back role, just because he's done it so much in Kansas City.
Right.
I think Worthy's a solid, maybe underrated pick, but he's going to be one of my utility players. He can also, if you need him on defense, he's got that top end speed.
Yeah, 100%. I buy that. Leaving him without Pat though, leaving Pat Mahomes on my team, make him run routes for Lamar.
I have a feeling his game will translate to Lamar Jackson just as well. I think you can even have a little more fun.
That is 100% fair. Okay, so I need to start filling out my defense with this next pick, but I'm not going to go both of my picks to defenders in a row because there's a couple of these like rusher safety positions that are falling down the draft board a little bit for us. So what I'm going to do is I am going to fill my CB2 spot and my final starting wide receiver spot. I think at this point, there's not any receiver anywhere in the world that is going to get past Pat Surtain and Sauce Gardner on the outside. I don't think anybody is going to be moving anywhere at all on our corners. It'll be up to the safeties. We'll see if we can pick good ones, but my corners are locked in. As for my final receiver spot, I was talking about Tyreek Hill earlier and how fun he would be to be on my team. Turns out, Jalen Waddle is also on the Dolphins, and he would be a fantastic receiver for this. He's a big hands guy. He catches just about everything that comes his way, and I think he's going to be able to pull in a ton of long balls from Patrick Mahomes. I think Jalen Waddle is going to round out at least my initial receiver room.
I like it. I like the pick. I like both picks, honestly. I think you addressed a very important kind of getting that other outside corner position locked down, and then you get a good wide receiver. You're building a really good offense here, and you've inspired me to kind of actually go in a similar direction in both ways. I'm going to start first with my wide receiver pick, and I'm going to go with a guy who's got incredible hands, incredible route running, and I think an incredible ability to just find open space on the field. I'm going to go with Puka Nacua, especially give me a couple years.
Yeah.
I think Puka Nacua is going to translate well to this, just with his ability to find open space, catch any ball thrown his direction, and kind of get a little celebration going after the play.
Yeah, I can buy that. I think he is going to be one of those guys, at least for me when I think about it. I would be a little on the fence if I was going to pick him for my team, because I think he will be maybe a little bit older, but he's one of the guys like George Kittle where it's going to be blasphemous if he's not on your team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's one of those players.
And then for my other pick, I'm going to go defense, and I'm going to show a little bit of my Texans fandom here, and I'm going to go with Derek Stingley Jr. as my other corner.
That's a good one.
Another young guy, a guy who can play any ball in the air, a physical guy, a guy who's gonna try to make every play, and I think it's a good member for this Team USA.
Yeah, that's a slam dunk hit, I believe. So I am going to do something that's maybe a little heinous right now. I am going to leave it up to fate a little bit for my next pick, because we simply don't even know how good he is going to be once he takes the college starting job in Texas. I am going to take Arch Manning as my second quarterback on this team. He's going to be young still in 2028. He might be 23, 24 by that point. And in case Patrick Mahomes can't make it the whole way, because I think he's going to be around the 34, 35 range by the time we get there, Arch Manning can come in. Maybe that's a horrific, heinous pick. I have no idea. I have no idea how he's going to look in the NFL or even in college. But I am going to take him for my team right here. And I'm surprised both of us haven't thought of this just yet. But I may have accidentally fallen upon the best flag football prospect the United States may have, just period. So did the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay,
I am going to go with Travis Hunter. So he can play anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to slot him in.
That's a big miss on my part. I completely I don't know why. How can I forget the player who literally plays both sides of the football for my team? I'm sitting here like, man, I could use that one more utility guy who could maybe. And Travis Hunter's looking right at me, and it's a solid pick. Both picks are The first pick of Arch is interesting because there's so much that's up in the air with that, but I like going ambitious with the pick. I like where your head's at.
Yeah,
and I think it's intriguing and could be a very good call. In terms of my two picks, I'm going to go in a sort of similar direction. I'm going to get my other quarterback as well because, well, like Father Time will catch up to everybody, and it'll be a few years in the future. We don't know how this game may affect Lamar at the quarterback position. So I feel pretty good with my backup option, and I'm going to go with a guy, JD5 from the Washington Commanders, who had an incredible rookie year. I mean, how can I not?
That's really good,
Mr. Jaden Daniels.
That's really good. I thought about that as soon as I picked Patrick Mahomes. I was like, oh, I could have taken Daniels or Williams or May for my quarterback spot. It might have been a little bit smarter. I mean, I went young and old. But no, Jaden Daniels is a solid pick. I really like that pick.
Yeah. I think Daniels will be exactly what I need from that kind of backup quarterback. You never know when you're going to need him. Could get a couple double pass plays going too. And with his speed and Lamar's speed, a lot of versatility there. And then for my final wide receiver position, I'm going to go in a kind of similar direction you went with Arch here. I'm going to look at actually the college game, but I'm going to look at a guy from Ohio State who nobody can cover, and that's Jeremiah Smith.
Ooh,
I think you could put Jeremiah Smith on an NFL field right now, and he'd be a star. I think Jeremiah Smith is going to be one of the best wide receiver prospects ever out of college. I think his game translates great to the NFL, and I think it translates even better to flag football. Nobody can guard him.
Yeah, I can 100% buy that. That's a really good college pick too. I wish I'd thought of that. That's a really good pick. Either him or the kid from Alabama, who I'm forgetting his name. Either one of those guys would be good. Ryan
Williams.
Yes, either one of those guys would be good.
Yep.
Okay, so for my next two picks, I am going to go full defense. I'm going to take my edge rusher and my utility guy here. First off, I'm going to show a little bit of love to my Chicago Bears, and I am actually going to take, for my utility player, I am going to take Jaquan Brisker from the Bears. I really like his upside. I like his intangibles. He can play as big as a linebacker. He truly can. He's one of the bigger up-and-coming strong safeties, I think, in the league. And I think his game could really translate to the NFL. If this was a couple years ago, I might have gone with maybe an Eddie Jackson on the Bears type of scenario. Maybe like 2018 Eddie Jackson, something like that. But I'm gonna show some love to my Bears.
Prime
just a little
Eddie Jackson was different.
Yes, absolutely. But I'm going to show just a little bit of love to my Chicago Bears and take Brisker, at least for a utility role. Now, for my pass rusher, this was an interesting think because there have been a few guys that have already come on and said on their podcasts and to NFL reporters and different things like that, that they would want to play on the flag football team. And Micah Parsons, I think, was one of the bigger names in that realm of being like, hey, I kind of want to play. If you guys will have me on the team, let me play. But I'm not going to go with Micah Parsons. I am going to go with another person, kind of like Brisker. He's a little bit younger. I am going to go with upside, and I am going to take a wild guess that the best edge rusher in the NFL in 2028 is going to be Jared Verse from the Los Angeles Rams. I know that's kind of another wild shot in the dark, but I think Jared Verse is, at least for me, he is at the top of the list of up-and-coming, really young edge rushers right now that I think by 2028 he will have honed his craft and he will be a double-digit sack monster by then.
Yeah, I mean, Verse had an incredible season with the Rams. I mean, just incredible stuff. We saw it in the playoffs too. Just his talent's off the charts. And if there's a player to kind of bet on to have a good couple of years in the future, I think he is one of them. And I'm going to go in a similar direction. I got 2 picks left. And I'm looking forward in both of these picks, especially with the years to come. But I'm also picking players who are already stars in their own right. But I think they're going to be even better as time moves on and we get closer to 2028. I'm going to start with a guy from, again, my Houston Texans. I'm going to go with Will Anderson.
Okay.
Will Anderson as my edge rusher kind of player with his athletic ability, his speed, I think is going to be so huge. And I want anyone in the world to try to stop him.
Yes. Yeah, that's a really solid pick. That's really good.
And then my final pick in this draft, I need my tight end, my center, my big guy up front. And I'm going a little unorthodox by not going with a tight end here or a center even. I'm going to go with a guy who's ran some routes, though. Give me Penei Sewell as my center tight end. We saw him get some looks with the Lions in some little short flat routes, but also he's just a beast as a blocker. Yeah. I mean, I want like same with Anderson. I want someone to try to stop Penei Sewell.
Yeah.
Or try to get past them, man. He's the ultimate security for be it Lamar or Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
I think Penei Sewell is the cornerstone of the offense, and I think a fun and different pick for that position.
Yeah, 100%. I'm going to laugh when in 2028 we see a clip of Sewell just knocking 3 whole players on the other team out of the way so Jaden Daniels can run. I can 100% buy that, though. Penei Sewell's a really good pick for that. And yeah, you're right. He absolutely can run routes. Dan Skipper has caught touchdowns, though.
I think we will have a Penei Sewell touchdown before we get to 2028. There's my prediction.
I think so. That's solid. That's really good. We'll put that in the betting odds books.
Oh yes.
Okay. So
I've completed my team.
Yes. Run them down. Run it down.
So my starting quarterback is going to be Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
My 3 wide receivers here, I got Justin Jefferson, I got Puka Nacua, and I got Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State, kind of making a prediction there that he's going to be a star. I think that one's pretty obvious that he's going to be, if anyone watched any college football, playoff football from this last year, it's obvious he's a stud. My center tight end kind of position, I'm going to go with Penei Sewell. I think he's versatile, can be used in a lot of ways, and he's just huge. Moving to the defensive side, my corners are going to be Riq Woolen and Derek Stingley. I dare someone to throw in any of those guys' direction. That ball's getting picked off. Yeah. My safety, Antoine Winfield, the guy who knows ball, knows the game. He seems like he's a step ahead on defense. I think he's just a good pick. My pass rusher, I'm going Will Anderson from the Texans. And then I've got 3 utility players that can be used, primarily all offensive guys because, we all want to see points. We all want to see some flashy highlights. I went with Jahmyr Gibbs as kind of a scat back role, kind of pitch it to him and let him work. I have Xavier Worthy just because he's the fastest man in football. He's going to be fast in a couple of years, barring any sort of outstanding circumstance. But I predict him to still have that top end speed. And then finally, I got Jaden Daniels just to be that backup quarterback. But the backup is, he plays a similar style to the starter. It'll translate well if one has to come in or whatever. So that's my team.
Yeah, that's really solid. And I am actually going to finish off my team with my final spot, which is safety. Now, I haven't decided which one I want at this spot, so this may be a think piece for both of us. But I want a Ravens safety. I want either Kyle Hamilton or Malachi Starks. I'm not sure which one to go with. Malachi Starks is younger, but Kyle Hamilton is arguably the best safety in the NFL right now. So I'm not sure which way to go on that. What do you think?
I think I personally would have to go Hamilton just because the established fact that while I have a lot of confidence in Malachi Starks, I actually really wanted Houston to make a play for Starks at one point to try to get him on the Texans. But I really like Starks' game. But I think we know what Kyle Hamilton is, and it seems like he's got eyes in the back of his head. He is while it may not be as vital for flag football, I mean, he can hit you pretty hard. He can really like lay you out, but he's physical. He knows. Seems like where the ball's going, he's got that intuition that I think is very important, especially for a game as chaotic as flag football on the Olympic stage. So I think I would have to go with Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, I was leaning that way as well. And hey, listen, Ravens develop rookie defenders really, really well. It would not shock me if Malachi Starks is one of the best, if not the best, safeties by 2028. That would not shock me. But I kind of do like the Kyle Hamilton pick a little bit better, at least for my team. Kind of for the same ways that I picked Brisker, is they are both big enough to be linebackers if they really wanted to, if they put on a few pounds, but they will lay everyone out like a linebacker would. So I think I will go Hamilton. You've convinced me. I'm gonna go Kyle Hamilton with my last pick. So that means that my team is going to end up being Pat Mahomes at quarterback. I feel like that's the standard. I honestly, unless he's completely retired from football, I would be shocked if he is not on the flag football team, at least in like a backup role, like we were saying that Jaden Daniels was going to be in for years. For my tight end / center, again, another player that I feel like you cannot leave off of Team USA is George Kittle. I've got my 3 wide receivers. I've got Malik Neighbors. I've got Jalen Waddle, and I've got Bijan Robinson as kind of an out of the backfield receiving threat. On defense, I've got Surtain, Sauce Gardner, Jaquan Brisker, and Kyle Hamilton patrolling the defensive backfield. I have Jared Verse headed straight for the quarterback. And at my utility spots, I'm going to bring in Arch Manning at the quarterback spot, and I'm going to have Travis Hunter just for fun.
Yeah, I mean it's a very well-rounded team. Especially your defense is intimidating to say the least in terms of just you got a lot of guys who can make plays and a lot of guys who will be excited to make plays. And I think you get people who are tracking the ball down who want to make that big play, who love the shining moment like we see from a guy like Sauce Gardner or any of those guys, honestly, a Travis Hunter too. I mean, who live for those big moments. I think you got a big moment defense that could definitely make some big plays.
Yeah. I think both of our teams ended up really solid. I know, obviously, it's just the two of us, and and our teams would be greatly spread out if there were more people here. But I think both of these teams. I think both of these teams are solid in terms of making sure we lock down the flag football division. I don't think there's any question with either one of our teams that we will win gold, and we should expect to win gold off the jump before we even get off the boat.
We built 2 gold medal teams today, and I think you could build about 13 gold medal teams from NFL. I'm excited to watch it, especially because it'll be in the U.S.
Yes, 100%. That is going to be so fun. If by that time we're rich, we might try to go, but otherwise we're clear on the other side, and we're just going to watch it from the TV.
Hey, either seat I'll watch it and I'll have a good time. That's my kind of philosophy behind it.
Exactly, 100%. And we'll leave the other actual flag football guys. We're gonna give them their flowers as well at some point. And I feel like there's even been talk of them doing some sort of tryout where they're going to go against the NFL guys, which I'm honestly kind of curious to see. But we'll just see how that goes.
Especially if you specialize in it.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
Yes, it'll be fun to see.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Anyways, other than that, that has been all from Second Level Sports. Thank you for coming and watching our little mini game. Next week, we will be back with a full game. They will have their game set up and ready for you guys to watch. In the meantime, this has been Steve and Asher from Second Level Sports. We will see you guys next time.
Peace.